It'd be wild.
Good stuff. All right. Sorry about the wait, guys. We are missing Bjorn right now. Hopefully, he's able to get on and fix out some technical difficulties.
Always technical
Before we begin,
difficulties.
usual few announcements, starting off with our two partners. First off, Monument Studios. If you want royalty-free music or any kind of music for any of your tabletop role-playing games, check out monumentstudios.com, where you can find plenty of music for anything from cyberpunk to horror for Halloween or fantasy for D&D. If you just want a planned service for $4.99 a month, you get all the music at your fingertips that is in a soundboard. You can mix your own music and integrate into Discord. Check it out at monumentstudios.com or at Fantasy Plus. We are still also partnered up with Arcana Miscellanea, where they make their own custom one-of-a-kind dice and many other objects as well. That is for D&D, everything from dice chains to candles to a little bit of artwork. Right now, we're not running anything special with them, but still go on their website, check out their new stuff as it comes out. Remember that every set of dice is unique, and if you buy one, no one else is going to have the same one as you, and if you miss out, that exact model that you wanted, you won't be able to get again. So make sure you check out their site. That link is also in our About Us screen. We'll have something closer to Christmas time. A lot of things going on right now, so we'll have something more posted as far as another raffle coming up next month. Last but not least, we'll have a couple sessions missing in the next week or two. With scheduling and people out of town right now. Next week we'll not have a sequel of this, and this week we'll not have Star Wars, and next week we'll not have Daggerheart. So we will post on schedules of what we will have as it comes out, so make sure you follow us on Instagram. That's always where we post things about all our scheduling and everything like that. But also follow here for video game streams. Tomorrow starts off Halloween, so I will actually be streaming plenty of Halloween games per day, assuming nothing gets in the way. Everything from the new Silent Hill game that came out to the old Fear series, everything of the sort. And then the 16th, we'll actually be doing a in-person Halloween, actually Call Cthulhu stream. So make sure you check out also on socials when we'll actually be going live with that. Does anybody have any other announcements?
Sure. If you are in the New York area, this is the final week of the New York Renaissance Fair. So if you haven't come yet, it's been an awesome season. It's been super beautiful weather this year. And the last weekend always is a super, super fun one. So if you are in the New York area, you haven't checked out the New York Renaissance Fair this year, then you should definitely come down and definitely check out the joust, because I will be your Lady of Chivalry this weekend. Huzzah!
Oh, nice. Ooh. Cool. Anything else from anyone? Cool. Let's go in the intro. All right, and we are back. So, let me take this off. All right. Last we left off, the team themselves find their way in north parts of the Feywild. Within the town themselves, as they are allowed to gain entrance into the School of Mullane, as they enter into Aiden's office, a few of you enter into the Wellspring portal and go through memories through Zephinia herself. Eventually, you all fall in, and you essentially reenact certain moments of her earlier years with her team. Eventually, throughout all this, you guys actually immediately get interrupted and found by a warrior called Athen, the sixth soldier of Remus, and is there to either convince Ronin to take her position or convince her in a much more displeasing effort. You guys had a battle, and Ronin decided to accept this title, and in doing so, the only thing keeping Athen alive is his title, and he does die, as you guys do see his body disintegrate and the power go to Ronin. You guys are back in Aiden's office. The liquid currently right now in the wellspring is empty, but there definitely is still magic that resonates within this jar totem figure. To remind you guys, you are in the school. For the players, you guys have a map on there. This is not exactly the way I described it. I just didn't want to get super intricate, otherwise the map would be too expansive. So the ratio is not exact, but the room you guys are at is always to the right. So I just don't have the room on the screen. It's just past the steps. As this is all transpiring, Aiden just kind of moves up with one cane, checks the well, sees no waters coming out of it, kind of taps it a few times. Oh, fuck. Looks at everyone, kind of takes the cane, like lifts up anybody's arms to check to see if anybody's injured, kind of goes back and forth, sees everybody's fine. By all intents and purposes, if you guys took any damage inside the well, you're back to full health because that's only the damage you would have taken within the well.
Yay.
So you're back to where you were before you went to the wellspring itself. So he just kind of looks, you can kind of see him over analyzing it in his head. Very much, taking it, doing the equations in his head and you can kind of hear him mumbling to himself. They went in. I couldn't go in. They came out. Fine. Water's gone. You can literally see him starting to illustrate it into his head, trying to figure it out, and he kind of leans up against the wall. He eventually goes to the desk. He starts writing stuff down. He kind of is in his own zone right now. Unless you said to interrupt him, he is not really taking account of what you were currently doing.
Azalea's interrupting him.
Okay.
Can it be fixed?
I'm sorry, what?
Can it be fixed? Can you make another one, or can we use it again one day?
Use what?
That thing. And I'm gonna point to the little fountain thing. Is there any way you can?
I don't even know how you used it.
Go back in there.
I mean, theoretically, as he kind of moves his cane over and he kind of picks it up and he kind of shakes it, seeing if anything comes back. He kind of puts up to his ear, kind of like a seashell on the beach. And he kind of sets it down very gently back on the spot it was. I mean, theoretically, the magic is endless inside. I would assume it still works. It just needs time to recharge. I've never seen it used before, so, X time. Sell for X, I guess.
How was it created?
He just thinks about it, he ponders in his head. Yeah, and he kind of moves his way to his desk. He kind of like goes. He like kind of puts his hand over the left side of the desk. Puts his hand over the right. He kind of goes over to the desk. He pulls over a trigger, opens up a spot, immediately pulls out of a really really old like dusty bottle of liquor, and he just kind of like looks at, and then he immediately just kind of like sets it down, and he overanalyzes another part, and he looks at a glass, looks at the bottle, puts the glass away. He immediately just pops the cork, drinks a little bit. All right. Well, you might want it, but I'm gonna sit. And he immediately just drags a chair over to the table and immediately sits down. I didn't do it. I'm not that experienced. Let's just say I found myself on hard times. My sister dying. I kind of moved around. Eventually, I started learning a few things, and I found these, I don't know what you call it, like a cloud dragon or something like that. They call it something, but I don't know what it is. It randomly appeared. I thought I was drunk, but then I found out it was actually there. The man I was staying with, very, very old, crazy of a man, but had some wisdom to him. Had the well, and he apparently kept it all his life, apparently passed down from his father and his father before him, and had the ability to contain the waters of this dragon. As soon as we saw it, he immediately ran out there. I thought he was crazed. And I mean, after I researched it, he gave it to me before he passed, and I kept researching it to see how I could get inside. I kept hearing voices, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. I cast spells, did rituals. I even messed around with a little bit of the darker magics to try to see if I could, but I don't know what you all did, but it seemed to work.
Sorry to interrupt. So are you saying, like, you didn't create it, but when was this? Back when the dragon appeared?
Like
what time? How many years ago?
16, 17 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, you must understand, the skies were in a blaze, and storms would come in, earthquakes were breaking up, and worlds ending, and only thing I could find myself really in any kind of reason was, or any answers I could find, were at the bottom of the bottle. For the longest time, at least 5 years, I just thought I was holding in myself just a very ornate container of rainwater. And then when you start hearing that rainwater talk to you, you start to, get curious.
Did this, when you found the person who created this, was that in here, like in the Feywild, or was it in a different realm?
You mean the guy who made it?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, no, it was here in the Feywilds. I mean, this is basically where I've been for the past 19 years.
You said it spoke to you. Did it say anything specific to you?
Speaking to me, I don't think it was necessarily speaking to me. I think I just heard words as if like you're kind of like listening to a neighbor talk. They're not necessarily talking to you, but it's loud enough where you can hear them. But I mean, it seemed like a lot of bickering back and forth. I mean, up until, I don't know, like a couple months ago, did it start kind of seeming audible? someone apparently wanted to be free. The other person wants to be free but can't set them free. I don't know. It seems like a bunch of malarkey to me.
But you're the headmaster of a magic school.
Yeah, I am. But
Do you
as I've been told many times, I guess what you can't do, teach. I don't know. I mean, I got this. I mean, I do some favors to some people, save a few people's lives, help a few people out, and they all decide that it's, you know, they want you to teach them. Then more people did, and I guess having as you start playing around with this cybernetic arm on one side, or maybe the other side, I guess having a amputee wizard that can cast some decent spells is good promotional material. Then I just kind of rolled with it.
Small point of order. Question for the previous session. So, Ronin be poofing back late, has new faint tattoos, and then the image of Athen dying at her feet. Is this something only she witnessed, or did we all see that shit?
So you don't know what Ronin did
No.
when she went through the portal. But as
Fair.
you guys got back here, there was like 2 seconds of time where you literally saw kind of like a Thanos snap. And if you reacted quick enough, you would have seen like pieces of Athens flowing away right in front of Ronin. But that's all you would have seen.
Okay. I'm just gonna be suspiciously glancing at Ronin while this whole conversation is going down.
By all intents and purposes, unless Ronin says otherwise, she does not look any different.
Okay.
Okay.
I think with the whole previous map and demonic energy and all that shit and it hunting her, I feel like I can draw enough conclusions that some shit clearly happened. I'm not gonna ask what
just
Yeah.
yet.
Fair enough.
Delia
As-
doesn't notice. She's in her own little world with all that's happened on her own.
he just kind of pours him. Finally finds the glass. He just kind of like, yeah, kind of puts it down, fills it up, takes a sip. So, I guess we can kind of forgo the formalities. I know you were here for a reason. I can't pretend to know why, but I can believe that I recognize some of you. You don't really. What'd you say?
She like acts like she's gonna say how, and then she's like stops halfway.
Okay.
I'm gonna just what I did actually.
She does, he really points to Azalea and Alistair. It's like you rarely, if ever, see tieflings with feathered wings. So, based off the physical description, the coloration, how's Hades doing?
I mean, he's doing fine, I guess.
So living his
You know
life.
him? Well,
I mean, not directly. I was accompanying their group, but he was present helping my capture many years ago. So your father and many other of the group have a special place in my heart, especially with how close he was to my sister. Looks over to Ronin, be like, looks over Bjorn, kind of, looks at Nova, maybe talk later, looks over at Manon. Yeah, you are a spitting image of your mother.
Gods. I'm just gonna go make some tea.
Bourbon?
I'll take you up on that if no one else will.
He immediately just like hops back over to his desk, grabs a couple glasses, puts them down. Doesn't even like his calmness and his demeanor and his decorum is gone. He just drops liquid over both of them. Doesn't care if he splashes all over the place. He just slides through glass. He just takes himself another one. He just starts swinging it down.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Lean over towards Alistair. He's not really what I thought he would be. Is he?
Yeah, that seems to be a common thing.
Azalea says that with every person she meets.
I love that he's not what I thought he would be. Is he? Like, well, we didn't know what you thought he would be.
Yeah, right. And he just, as he finishes like another glass, he just sits down and he just kind of puts his finger. So, again, what can I do for you?
Well, with any luck, perhaps we can do something for you.
Oh, that would be.
We have seen
lovely.
What various evidence tells us is your sister. Nobody seems to know why she's alive or how. Or if it's really her in there, for that matter. But we need to find her.
As you're talking, he just looks extremely confused, and he just kind of, I apologize. I don't drink this much, and this is very strong bourbon. I
Have you ever heard the phrase "the Eternal Guardian"?
I don't think so. No. I mean,
well, neither did we. So
he kind of looks at. Well, I've read about it. I have heard some talks about an eternal guardian. I don't know what that has to do with my sister. I mean, she's been dead for quite some time, and
Well, the guardian is your sister.
right,
Just
that.
so you, yeah.
So what do you know about it?
Or
Is
at
it
least
something
she's
that's-
wearing your
that was around
sister's face.
before her.
pours himself another glass. Starts drinking some more.
Slow down there, boy.
Okay. All right. So you're saying my sister is alive after 20 years of her being dead?
Well, from what we've recollect, it's not your sister. It's her body is reanimated somehow.
I mean, her body was destroyed.
Or it's your sister.
Somebody thought she was in there somewhere.
So it's my sister or it's not my sister? Wait, what? Why do you think it's my sister?
People who know her
We've
said it
seen
was.
we've seen photos and paintings, and I'm pretty sure she's Dira.
He kind of
Serena knew her.
starts moving his way over, and he just kind of looks at his cane, just kind of sets his cane down, and just starts just kind of moving his leg. And you can see that he can kind of walk normally without the cane, as like there's mechanic to his body, but it looks like he just doesn't like to rely on it. And he starts moving his way over. He grabs a desk photo and he comes over, and it's not like exact, but like I mentioned, it looks like someone had a very, 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 very good memory of what Dira looked like, and painted it. Now this is a different hairstyle than what you recognize. This is different armor. For all intents and purposes, the personality gives her a different facial feature. But by all intents and purposes, this does look like the Eternal Guardian to you. He just kind of like, so you're saying this person, tap, tap, tap.
Person with more hair and less smiles.
Or murderous.
Trust
Fancy
me, I
our
was a
work.
little shocked too when I realized something that I loved is back too. But we do think she's back.
He merely just kind of leans over the table right where it's in front of his chair, and he just kind of has his head down, and he starts mumbling to himself, 20 years? She died? What? Kind of just slaps
Aiden,
his
here's
ass
Looks
on
like
the
there's a
ground.
lot of that going on.
Here's the shorthand. All right. We believe that it's either the body of your sister with the consciousness somewhat maybe in there. We, in a roundabout way, were able to see inside her head. and inside of it, we saw maybe the remaining consciousness or something of our mom in there, trying to keep Eternal Guardian or Dira or whatever it is at this point in check. There was someone else in there trying to get the Eternal Guardian to do other things that were not good or beneficial, we'll say. So anything that you could tell us about how this is possible or what could be going on would be beneficial.
Or what you know about this Eternal Guardian, if that's something bigger than the last 20 years or what.
He just stands up, repositions himself, leaning back on his cane again. Kind of tries to be presentable, repositions his tie, gets his shoulders in his coat properly, slicks back his hair. Well, I guess research it is. If you wouldn't mind following me. He just starts walking, opens up the door, as immediately his secretary looks like, "Are we all done?" It's like, "Not quite. We're gonna head over to the library." If you don't mind following me, as he starts walking ahead with a pretty good pace for someone who uses a cane. He is moving at exceedingly good pace, but he is actually using the cane quite a lot. He is actually leaning on it quite efficiently.
I pour myself another slug before we go and follow him with glass in hand.
Okay.
Iconic.
All right.
I ditto that.
Okay. It is very, very strong bourbon. I want you both to give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Sure. Absolutely, I'll do that.
Talking, mate. Wrong ass. Wrong campaign, brother.
That's a tree.
A tree? Oh.
It is very,
Maybe picking
very,
her up.
very fine bourbon. It does take time to hit you. It is a very slow burn, for all intents and purposes. I would say by the time you start walking the hallway, where there's more fresh air compared to where it is in his office, the fresh air kind of kicks you in the face, and immediately just kind of feel like this waking up at the wrong side of the bed. It still gives you still feel good, but you are having a tough time. I wouldn't say staying up, but everything does kind of seem in threes. Every student that walks across has a mirror. Auditory, it still seems fine. But for all intents and purposes, you are kind of seeing three of everything. It's not going to hinder you by any means, but for comedic value. As he's continually walking, assumingly that you guys are following him, he's just talking. Our library is not the best in the realm, but we pride ourselves of getting the top-notch books that we can. I have read some texts about a Eternal Guardian, but I guess not. Hopefully it's referring to the same one that we are currently speaking of at current moment. As he keeps coming out, you guys start to hear like a noise kind of come through. As he starts to slow himself down, he kind of puts his arm to his side so you guys don't pass him, kind of giving like a warning. As you kind of like start hearing like metal against metals, it starts coming at a fast pace. You start to hear like a slow grinding as you start to see a crowd of students kind of waiting. As you guys are kind of like in a center atrium, you start to hear like the spark as this thing starts, and you start to see this very ornate train, steam powered, kind of come through in the middle of the actual facility. As it immediately stops in the middle, as its current stopping is actually within the school itself. As you do see some students coming off, some teachers coming off, some students and teachers going back in, you actually see that's partially covered by snow. Based on the tracks that where it's coming from, it looks like it's coming from further north, where it is mostly blizzards at all times. There's still like a bit of kind of like a steam to it, as if if you put your hand on it, you can still tell that the metal of the the metal parts that are metal of the actual train itself still has like a, coldness to it that as soon as you put your hand on it, whether you're surprised by it or not, it is kind of like almost a frostbitey kind of touch. You do see students come back in and out. In each one, there is kind of like these kind of steam, like the candelabras inside that aren't meant for light, but they're meant to kind of give off sort of a torch warmth inside and kind of like almost spread out, kind of like the steam within to keep the actual carriage warm. As you immediately see this gentleman kind of come out, a very, very tight niched beard, kind of a faded, almost like he can't grow a mustache. It's mostly the beard, but he's trying to keep it trimmed as much as possible for the mustache. And kind of like a braided hair. Kind of comes out, checks his timepiece. 2 minutes, he'll be heading off. All aboard. Anybody on that needs to get off, make sure you're off in 2 minutes time. 2 minutes, the doors are closing. And
Is that where we're going?
oh no, we just got to wait for the train to pass. We can't get to the library through the train. We gotta get to the other side of that. Yeah, no. But about means
in the middle of the school normal.
we wouldn't put the actual stop here if it wasn't. I mean, it passes through 2 times a week, 2 times a day, midnight and noon.
DM to player, is it like it just like appeared randomly in the middle?
It's not
of the
magical.
school?
It's not magical.
Oh,
There
it's
are
not.
physical train
So
tracks. There
there's
is a
just-
drop down.
Oh, okay.
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 But this is the only train, so it's not an opposite path. This is the only train that runs on this train track and only goes in one direction. It just
okay.
constantly circles
Okay.
around in a circular path to different spots. You don't know if maybe at those spots it circulates in a different spot, but you can tell that there's only one track here, therefore it only goes in
Okay.
one direction.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying
Yeah.
that, because I
That's
was like, all of a
very
sudden, did it just randomly
No,
appear?
there is like an actual drop
Train.
part, like about 5 feet down, where there is like about a 12-foot gap where this train does come
Okay.
in from, and there is an archway on one
Mind the
side and
gap.
archway on another, and it does come through.
Okay.
There is an overlap bridge that goes over it in case someone needs to pass, but it looks like just for like safety reasons, nobody does unless absolutely necessary.
So we would
Ah.
have saw this from the
Mind the
outside
gap.
of the. We would have seen this from the outside of.
You
the
assume
actual
that you
school,
actually
right?
would see it, but you guys just haven't had it. You guys haven't been around
okay.
at the certain specific times
Okay.
that it actually came through.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
It
Sounds
looks
good.
like it
Thank you.
doesn't go as far down as the town that you started in. Therefore, until you actually get to the school, you don't notice it. And it doesn't
okay.
make so much sound like a full like steam engine, where it actually does, shoot out its horn as it's about to cross a certain spot or any kind of hazards. It does just move, and hopefully people just move out of the way.
Sounds
Still very loud.
Player to DM, does it still have some snow on it in any spots?
There's still snow on it, mostly on the tops. So there's no snow on the sides, but there is just a light amount of snow that is just on the top of the actual specific carts themselves. And the snow itself
Perfect, that-
is pretty solid. It's like almost like any other snow that was on it fell off, but this snow is kind of like frozen to the metal of the roofs itself, so it's taking a little bit to thaw.
As we're trying to make our way and being told we gotta wait for the train to cross, Bjorn would like to try and grab a handful of snow up that's hanging back from the rest of the group.
Okay. After about a minute, conductor. 1 minute. Make sure if you're on, you need to be on. If you're off, make sure you're off. No second calls. 50 more seconds. He immediately goes back in the room, closes the door. If you like see from like an angle, you see him kind of like turning the crank to start igniting the heat, and then he starts like pulling this thing that actually like attaches like these actual like almost like these antennae to these upper cables to ignite some kind of electricity to it, and it just kind of like attaches to it but doesn't grab it. It just like it does enough to actually grab a current. After about 40 more seconds, you just start see like some steam come from above it and just kind of like lifts itself up with hydraulics for about a foot between the wheels and the actual carts themselves, and then you just start seeing it glide instead of roll, as if the wheels don't actually turn, but they kind of hover over the cart themselves off of a magnet of polarity, and it just starts moving across. Therefore, it does not create too much sound other than the sound itself of it actually starting up and stopping. As they eventually pass, the bridge above it just starts to drop a little bit, so it's straight across. People start to come, and Aiden just drops his arm. He just kind of points his cane ahead, as we were, and he just starts moving. If you guys continue to follow, you do start heading into a lot of what looks like the side of the actual place that's reserved for advanced students. Most of the schooling on this side is completely quiet, as he just kind of puts his finger up as he kind of gestures to everyone, mostly for studying purposes. Just try to keep things as low as possible. As he kind of moves across, he actually lifts up his cane so he doesn't make a sound off of the wood off his cane, and he kind of positions it like a gentleman kind of right underneath his armpit, and he kind of actually has like a collapsible part to it where he kind of shortens it, but not too much. And then he just kind of like gestures to someone inside and just kind of waves at somebody else, and just kind of points at you guys, and he shows the second floor, and he kind of points at a section, and he starts walking that direction, assuming that you guys are going to follow. This is the biggest library, even to Alistair and Azalea, that you guys have seen. Hades' library is the biggest, but it moves with what he wants. Therefore, it is not always large. It gives him what he wants when he wants it. This library aesthetically is the largest you guys have ever seen. From one side to the other, you can't actually see the other end because it constantly intersects with itself. Essentially, it is a giant square around one singular column, and each side itself is about 200 feet long and 3 floors high. Each floor, the second floor and the third floor, are balconies compared to the first. As you go to a higher floor, the books look like they increase in rarity, and therefore restricting off. He takes you guys to the second floor. As he goes over and he finds a spot, he immediately goes to it, immediately kind of remembering where he kind of starts heading off, and he kind of goes over, he grabs immediately like a cart. Yeah, pulls a book down, kind of goes over.
Lord, there's so many books.
Well, we're gonna probably the best place we can find this knowledge. He immediately goes down another row, grabs another book. By this time, like, you guys are in there for like 5 minutes. He has like 20 books. One of them is like a grimoire that he found, and he, like, when he takes it off, he's like, he unchains it, and he kind of points over to Alistair. You look like you're pretty, you have some strength to you. You mind giving me a hand?
Yeah, that's fine.
You pull off a book that's roughly about 5 feet in width. As you merely, just like gently, kind of puts it. And as even if you slam it, even not slam it down, gently put it down, it immediately like shakes the cart, almost like the cart can't handle its weight. And he just kind of like looks at the cart. We're good. And then he eventually grabs a couple books, and then he immediately goes into his pocket, grabs a couple keys. Follow me. We'll find somewhere to research. And he starts dragging the cart along, goes over to a room that looks like it's specifically for just professors. He puts a key in the hole, unlocks it, opens up the door, brings in the cart. Coming in.
I'm looking at all the books, and I'm just saying, so theoretically, if we wanted to research things that aren't the Eternal Guardian, but would possibly be in this library, could we do that later?
Looks around, sees that it's not super busy. Yeah, sure, I don't see why not. But to task at hand, and
Very
then he just
quietly.
stretches you in.
Nova goes like, yes, just quietly.
I'm
It's
also
like secretly, Aiden's kind
We're
of
never getting Nova out of here.
like secretly, Aiden's just like, I'm not going to stop anyone from wanting to learn. If you want to learn, I am not going to hinder your progress. But he's
We have
just
a group
making
of
sure that
bookworms.
he's
I
just like he just
I
looks
look
to make
at
sure there's no
Manon.
students that are going to get pissed off with him about it.
I look at Manon
tuition.
being like, and being like happy about it.
Give me this
never
name.
getting either of them
Small
out of
bag.
here.
You kind of go into a teacher's research room. This room kind of has 4 large podiums. Each podium is set to lock on a grimorum. It has like a slider where you actually put in the binding of the book so it holds in properly, and it can handle the weight of most grimorums, including the one that you grabbed. There's a table in the center that he starts putting the rest of the books on. He takes takes the grimorum, and he kind of lifts it up, puts it on the actual. As you notice, he's not being quiet anymore. As you assume you guys are in the room, you guys can speak a little bit. He kind of locks it in there and he kind of opens it up. All right. Who here is smart with magic?
I'm kind of looking over his shoulder. I can use a little.
I see. Okay. Can you
I
read?
know magic. I don't know how smart I am with it.
Well, I see you raising your hand there. Can you read text? Can you read script?
Depends what language it's in.
Can you, he like looks at it. Looks like we got Infernal, Celestial, kind of moves over a couple pages. Elvish, you got that. Primordial?
I can help with the first 2.
I can,
I can read all of those except Primordial.
Of course, I unprepared the language.
Which pisses me off because Dahlia could read Primordial and it never fucking mattered.
He just like looks at you. It's like, okay, I guess the primordial things. It's kind of like a couple words here or there. Maybe you can figure it out if you don't mind. I'm sorry. What's your name, love? Yeah.
Nova.
Pleasure to meet you. If you wouldn't mind, he kind of flips over to the page where he puts like a view mark on it to hold the pages down, and he kind of like slides it to where he knows that there's information left. If you wouldn't mind scouring through these few pages, take your time. If you can find something else, go at it. I leave this in your very capable hands.
Well, I'm gonna need help with a couple of those languages.
I'll step up.
Lovely. Okay. Anything else you need? Anything else you need that you two can accomplish with that?
As long as it doesn't require magic, I'm fine.
I can handle the magic.
Okay, fantastic. He kind of scatters the other books across the actual table. Some of them go over just mentions of the Eternal Guardian. Some of them go over text explaining what the Eternal Guardian is. But he explains these books explain passages of a Eternal Guardian. And they're quite fast, but not as descriptive. These ones talk about the Eternal Guardian, but you're going to have to kind of scour through the pages to find the specific things. They don't go as specific as just that. So, who wants to do which one? Who wants to go more general and who wants to go more specific?
I look at Nova. Let her make the decision.
Well, Manan and Nova
We're doing
are already doing that.
We're doing the big book.
So Manan and Nova are out of this one, so it's between Bjorn, Ronine,
Roger,
Azalea,
Roger.
and Alistair.
I can look at a specific one.
Lovely.
Good that.
Okay. And you two to take
Oh,
the
look
general?
at whatever.
Okay. Fantastic. I am going to try to go see if I can find some more information. T, over in the corner, help yourself. Find a chair, relax. Our room is your room. Do what you can to research. I'm going to go see if I can find some more script.
Hey, before you go, I had 2 questions for you.
Only 2?
One, for now. One, did Dira ever have something with multiple personalities and voices in it?
Not that I know of. I mean, I'm going to say no. The later years, I didn't see her much. You know, you grew up, you do different things. She did her adventures. I didn't see her again until her and her friends saved me from an ungodly fate. And then after that, it turned into the world is falling apart. and she became the hero that helped save the world. So I didn't see her much after we kind of grew up. So if she did have something like that, I am not the person to, unfortunately. I mean, he kind of like has like a kind of a slight tear, like he wish he could answer the question. I'm unfortunately,
I
I'm
guess
the one that can answer that question.
I guess caveat off of that, how was she the one that kind of saved everything? Or like, how did she perish 100%?
I mean,
like,
I wasn't there, but from what the group told me, my sister, whether or not she chose it or not, she was given a power that was beyond any mortal's possession. And she heard the calling and she used that power to save the world. And from what I was told is that she helped out 2 of her allies by sacrificing herself to deliver a final blow of sorts. But it came with a price, that silver dagger came with a killing cost. She sacrificed her life to kill out a god.
okay. I guess the other question.
So there's 3. I knew there was more.
Oh, it was 2 with an additional one that came up. Is there anybody in Dira's past that would know who you are, what you look like, what you sound like?
I mean, theoretically, everyone that was there. I mean, maybe some of them aren't so familiar with me that if like they saw me crossing their path that they recognize me, but her adventuring team would recognize me.
Player to DM, did Aiden in the Eternal Guardian's mind look like him now?
Similar, but not close. So the version that you saw before you met this version of Aiden was very much clean cut, hair tied up, in a much more, I wouldn't say more distinguished look, but what you would assume someone who may be more OCD about their clothing care would be for a distinguished look. This version of Aiden does not care so much about having a 5 o'clock shadow, does not care about having his hair unkept, just as long as the hair is clean and it looks good. His clothes are long, but they're not consistently buttoned up, but he wears style without it requiring it to be OCD in a certain respect.
Same age?
You assume as far as physical words. Physical looks, he looks the same. Different kind of beard, different kind of hair, but all intents and purposes, the skin texture looks the same.
So like same age looking, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And they are, and since they are humans, it is a lot more direct to be able to match that. So it does look like the age does match.
Yeah. I'll just kind of be like, is there anybody that knew Dira and you that has seen you in recent years?
Well, I mean, it was a couple years ago that I saw a couple of her friends that came through. This was a couple years back. We unfortunately had to ask them to leave. They were getting a little rowdy. But
who was that?
There was, God, I'm trying to think of the name. There was a goblin. There was an Elandrin. And a kobold. They kind of have a reputation in the Feywild. They kind of hop back and forth. They kind of do a little bit of a lot. Jack's of a certain trade, I guess. But they were here a couple years ago. Outside of that, I mean, anybody that would have directly, seen me, no one comes to mind.
Okay. Thanks. We'll get on these books then while you work on the other stuff.
He just kind of stands there, kind of looks around at the group, kind of mumbles in very low volume, kind of walks over to the door, puts his palm against the door, puts his head down for so, kind of like tilts his head, shakes his head, grabs the door, opens it up, walks out, and then gently closes the door shut.
As he leaves, Manoj's just gonna glance over to Alistair and be like, is there a reason you can't ask your dad those questions? Wouldn't he definitely know the answers?
You know, he doesn't seem to be in the know lately.
Point of order, Joe. You said we got health back, but spells and stuff that we spent are still gone, right?
Wherever you were at before you went to the wellspring, that's where you are at now. So if you had all your
spells and everything.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Cool. That was basically all of this. Okay, then I know what to do the thing that I was going to
All right. So
it's not necessary.
we'll wait for Bjorn to come back before we start making a roll. Oh, we'll start with Nova and Manon first. So
Okay.
as you guys are going through this script, you guys can either do individual rolls or one of you can choose to be granted advantage for a specific roll. Here's what I'm going to have is that for the rolls for that, if you decide to give advantage, then it's officially advantage just for that going on. So you guys can't change your mind as it goes through. I will have you go through different kind of checks. Because this is a Grimorum, these will both mostly be magical checks. So this will be history, arcana, investigation, and perception. But I'm going to give them to you in specific orders. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to do separate rolls? Do one of you want to have advantage?
I'm only proficient in one of those things, so
Proficient in a couple of those things.
Okay.
shoot.
Arcana, perception, and there's any religion. I'm proficient in that too.
I'm only proficient in history. So
We could just
You
roll
wanted-
both. And
Yeah, you might want to just
we'll
roll
just
both.
roll
then.
there.
Yeah, okay.
We'll
Yeah,
just roll
and go
both
from
and go
there.
All
from
right, so as you're going through, we're going to have you both roll an arcana check then. As you're going through the Grimorum and you're kind of looking through all the different kind of meanings of different spells in here. As every page is not necessarily a paragraph of words. This is Grimorum, not a journal. And therefore, every page breaks up different compounds of magic or different kind of spells or different kind of recipes to create different kind of elixirs to create spells. But this specifically is going to a certain text about the Eternal Guardian. You're just trying to figure out the answers for it. So between the two of you, arcana check, what'd you get?
13.
13.
19 plus 4.
Okay. Manon, you're going through this. The first couple pages, as far as Manon, what you're able to tell is that this spell is specifically going over a resurrection spell. But that's as far as you can tell from there. Nova, what you can tell is, yes, this is resurrection, but this is a very, very, very unique and one-of-a-kind kind of resurrection spell. You assume that this page even acts as a scroll itself. Even though this page is attached to the book, this spell is so unique that if someone actually read from this directly and used the components directly, this page would actually disappear from the book. But the first page you're going through, well, first two pages technically. Yeah, two. The first two pages are talking about binding objects together to bring something back in existence that wasn't there before. It follows the parameters of you don't need a body, you just need magic.
Before he comes back, these 2 pages are talking very, very unique spell. I'm just gonna say this out loud to everyone. A very unique spell of bringing someone back, but not needing a body, just magic.
Well, that sounds relevant.
Yeah, but the thing is with this, but the thing with the spell, this is one of those ones where it's very unique. It seems like you would have to have access to this book to actually, this grimoire specifically to do so.
There wouldn't have been another copy somewhere, maybe, or somebody
That's
knew
my
it by
first
heart.
thought.
Yeah, or what happened, or it looks like it also might, once you use it, the page might disappear. So I wonder if someone copied it down.
I would say you would know, Nova, is that yes, copying a spell is not difficult, especially if you're a wizard. A spell of this magnitude, again, not difficult, but you need the correct materials. And not specifically knowing the correct materials, but they'd be very expensive materials. Not too indifferent from all those notes you guys got that had a very similar ink. If someone did copy this, they would need very, very expensive, unique materials to copy the spell into another book.
You definitely need to be uniquely. You need a lot of materials that are very unique and very expensive to copy this spell.
So somebody with a lot of money and a lot of magic.
And they'd have to have the same level of magic of like the notes that we received through realms.
Well, now that's an interesting coincidence.
Yes.
Maybe somebody is here. That's
Yes.
part of this.
That's why I wanted to say something before he came back, because so far it seems like we have to be very cautious of everyone except for ourselves.
GTA.
Life.
Don't trust anyone.
We're going to go to another group. So we'll go to who has, which group picked the book that just goes over a Eternal Guardian, not the Eternal Guardian, like a generalization of the Eternal Guardian.
The generalization that was...
Okay. Renine and Azalea.
Probably
Can't
would
remember
have.
else. Yeah.
Okay. So again, same rule for the both of you. As you make your checks, starting now, are you gonna have one of you give another advantage, or you can each roll individually?
I am going to give you advantage.
Okay. So we're gonna start with
What are...
through the couple books that you guys have. We're gonna start with the first rules. So investigation check, because he didn't give you a specific point to start at. An investigation check to kind of scour through the book to at least know where to begin.
Let me roll again because I did not do that with advantage, and that was definitely a nat 1.
Oh no.
Not much better. 12.
12. These whole two books that you got specifically go over texts of ancient warriors that follow in the term of Eternal Guardians, but none of them are necessarily placed. You're able to at least find maybe a 20-page gap, 20-page X page of at least where to start, but you weren't able to get too specific. Give me another investigation check to see if you can find out get any finer point.
Hopefully this is better. 15.
Okay. As you go in, you got like a few pages that you're working on, and you got another book about 4 pages that you're working on. As you guys are scouring through these 2 pages, you at least see that these books are discussing what an Eternal Guardian is. A term that has been lost to time, as it is described, and a term that has been designated to a person to ascend to godhood. It specifically describes that this is not a person becoming a god, but becoming a creator. Inheriting the title of... inheriting the title of Bahamut itself. Only one can be given the term the Eternal Guardian. Only one can be given the term Eternal Guardian when the need is ready. But you cannot find out what that need is. You do see the parameters of what it takes to become an Eternal Guardian. An Eternal Guardian requires them to have no past, no future, and has to have sacrificed their life once upon a time, whether it succeeded or failed. That's as far as you can find within like the first, I'd say, an hour as you're scouring through these books.
How do you have no past and no future?
Bahamut? The Bahamut?
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
both of you. Someone dead. I'll like turn and be like, if you're dead,
If you're dead, you still got a past at least.
but if you no longer have ties to the material world, like plane.
Well, then that would be anyone dead, so why bother saying it? And if no past, no future, and have sacrificed your life, why would there be a separate requirement for no past and no future?
Maybe they're referring to like a nobody, someone that doesn't have royal or bloodline type stuff.
That's a
A
bit
past in like a
classist, but I
lineage.
suppose.
And if you have no past and no
I'm just
future,
throwing
you
out
don't have
ideas.
anybody recognizing you or knowing who you were.
So how would Dira fit in with this? Because we know who she is. We've recognized her.
Yeah, but she also came from humble beginnings.
Maybe it's saying that we all need to die so she can do this thing. So let's not do that.
I'd prefer not to.
Well,
Not a fan of that.
I just this whole business of being a creator and being like Bahamut. I mean, doesn't that sounds a bit like what the Weaver was talking about with the whole starting over? Don't like the sound
Yeah.
of that.
But again, if my theory on the Weaver is right, that she wants the realm to end, being a creator and being Bahamut would be the opposite of that, and they would be creating life versus allowing it to be destroyed.
Does she want it to end so she can do it her way, and this guardian would do it a different way?
They want things to end, but do they?
But wasn't Bahamut a god before? Like, wasn't he?
Didn't we find out that he was not always a god? Or at least that's what, I guess it was the Weaver that said that, and we don't trust her, so I don't
Right.
know.
But wasn't he a god? Wasn't that part of some of the history?
They said he was the creator of Aberrant and everything, and they all came from him. The twins
They
and
sound
the
like
whatevers.
all sounds like two sides of the same coin to me.
Yes. With two different motives.
And we're left to
That
be
part.
flipping that coin.
But at the same time, there's a 50-50 chance that we flip incorrectly, I guess.
Also-
It's on us. Ugh.
Would from my personal tactical standpoint, I would not bring together enemies that could defile my plans, derail my plans. So why did the Weaver bring us together if it was only for us to come together to derail the plan?
Unless
Does that
she-
make
It's all in
sense?
one place.
It doesn't sound like it makes sense.
I mean,
Maybe they both want to
No.
restart, they just want to do it their own way. So
Yeah.
she's asking us to foil whatever plan the Eternal Guardians got.
but at the same time, we don't know if that's. We don't know what their plan is, obviously.
You don't know what anybody's plan is. Even if
Well,
they
we-
tell it to us, they're probably lying.
I'm gonna start
Oh.
flipping back through the book. Maybe
I
this
would like to survive. Beautiful ship. Die at like 98.
That sounds nice.
Would be my plan.
That's
Same.
very young.
We need a world to live in for that.
All right.
Thus,
for-
we have to
Like, oh
pick the
my
right
God.
plan. You have to plan to pick the right plan.
For the group that has the other books, Alistair and Bjorn, same rule applies to you. Do one of you want to gain advantage, or do you both want to roll individually?
What are we rolling again? I'm sorry.
So this will go over specifically investigation, history, religion, and arcana for your books.
I've got history and religion.
Let's see. I will give advantage to Alistair.
So Alistair's getting advantage.
Okay.
All right. So for the first one, as you guys again are kind of at the same pace as Azalea and Ronin, you got to figure out where you are. Give me an investigation check to at least scour through these books to know where to begin.
Well, that's got to be something because I rolled 2 13s. So 13.
Fair enough. All right. Much like the previous group, you at least find like a broad area to at least start off with. At least going over like a list of names that people that believe have belonged to this title bill before. Roll me one more investigation check to see if you can kind of narrow it down.
Well, that's better because that was a nat 20.
Okay. You're able to find a specific page in the first book, not go in the second book, to at least get a good start off. You find, it looks like this one, the book you're reading was made about 30 years ago. It's a generally new book, but it looks like it was a rewrite of a previous book taken in from information that was gathered. It looks like based on the time this was created, this is when Bahamut was officially announced to be the king of the realm, or the king of the realms, and therefore someone revised the book to actually add in titles. In this book, it actually goes over what an actual Eternal Guardian is and the names that were actually people actually think were given the Eternal Guardian role. The Eternal Guardian has been given a name since the first ever Eternal Guardian, and the Eternal Guardians always pass it on when the realms need to be reset, and that's put as a specific term. The ability has been passed down to every Eternal Guardian, and it allows the Eternal Guardian to be immune to the realm's effects of destruction, and gives them the ability to drain the power of the realms to create new realms in response. They can choose to either control the realms by themselves or deliver the power to two others, whether by blood or by right. When the person becomes the leader of this new realm, they are given the title of Bahamut. There are 3 names that are being given, and these look not necessarily by names, but titles before someone was officially given the Eternal Guardian title. The first one looks like this one was guaranteed, like someone knows this writer looks like knows this knows to be solid. It's just called the Iron Smith, was the first Eternal Guardian. It only gives like a general description, as in no one's ever seen this, but knows some scripture. First God in existence and created the universe. Then we go to the second title on there is a Dragon Lord. Was the first one granted the Passover title of the Eternal Guardian. And the third one name is Arman. A lot of people think Arman is actually the first ever Bahamut. You got a natural 20. There isn't much known about the Dragon Lord or the Iron Smith, but it is said that each of them lived in seclusion before they were given a title, did not have family, did not have brothers, did not have sisters, and their parents were dead, and therefore the title was granted to them. I'd say the one thing you get natural 20 is the Iron Smith. There is some general information of what this writer assumes the Iron Smith is. Only being speculative of what this writer believes, that this is the third time the realm has been reset by an Eternal Guardian. In your mind, you assume that does not mean when the sisters reset the realms, when the Eternal Guardian did.
Question for my notes. Are you saying that the Ironsmith mark
constant between them, which are usually heaven, hell, and the Fey creatures. They always exist within these realms, within this reality that are being constantly created. The author believes that the title Ironsmith means that the original reality was created, lived in a different world that we live in now, in a world of iron, in a world of metal, and in a world that is devoid of a vast amount of magic than what this realm has. Oh, Twitch is having problems. Okay. That's all you find. With that, we're going to take a 10-minute break, see if Twitch fixes itself in those 10 minutes, and we'll be right back.